Hello, 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 hello. Let me turn my thing on here. I got on green today, so we'll do the green here. Hope everyone is well. Um, what's that one? Yeah, we'll do that one. All right. So hope everyone is well. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Make sure that we can greet you and all that kind of good stuff. Thank you guys so much for checking out the show. If you watch this in the future, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button and all that, all that, all that. We got a poll open here. Where's my hit the like button? Where's the say hello button? Make sure. Oh, here it is. We got a poll going here, and I'm really anxious to read your thoughts, comments about the poll, whether dark skinned women have it more difficult. Thus far, the few of you who have voted are saying that it's yes, 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 no, and sometimes. So make sure you go over there, hit the poll, hit the like button, and all that kind of good stuff. My computer was acting a little funny a little earlier, so I was not able to get in and do some digging around through Instagram and all that kind of stuff to try to figure out some new or get some warm-up videos. So it just started working. So let me see if I have any good warm-up videos for us here. I hope everybody's day is going well. Make sure y'all do absolutely hit the like button. I do apologize about this. I usually like to have everything up and going here, but my computer was acting so slow. And for some reason, Instagram was not working. All right, so let's play this one here. I did not get a chance to watch this one, so we'll check this one out as a warm-up video here. So we'll add this to the screen here. Let's see, Instagram. And we'll do this one here.
A lot of these men who you were talking about are deadbeats. 9 times out of 10, they didn't have a biological father.
Not true. Not true.
A few moments later.
Men who are raised by their fathers are more likely to be involved in raising their own children. Men who were raised by fathers tend to parent similarly to how they were raised, and this increased fatherly involvement has been linked to their own later involvement with their children. So that's saying what I said. A man who was raised by his father is more likely to raise his children. So it's not saying 100% of the time men who were raised by their father raise their children. There are some men who were raised by a father who are deadbeats. I'm saying what I said originally. More than likely, when the man is a deadbeat, he didn't have a father. And statistics prove that.
Well, no, you said 9 times out of 10. You threw data out there with nothing to back it up. I agree.
Well, I was figuratively speaking. 9 times out of 10 is a figure of speech.
Yeah,
more than likely is what I meant.
Okay, all right, I'll concede to that. Sure, more than likely, if you're raised by your father, then you won't be a deadbeat dad. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. That was something I had meant to watch before here, so just wanted to do that as a warm-up video here. So I guess she was stuck on the amount of times, or more than likely, that type of verbiage. So, which is I don't know what's up with that. Let's greet some people here. Miss Plum, hello to you. Greetings to you. Evening to Miles Bachelor. To me, that's just logical. Well, it seems logical to me. And, all these data and statistics, that's why sometimes even I don't like them, because it depends on who you're listening to, what time, how they've gathered the data. There's a book called How to Lie with Statistics. So sometimes you got to be careful with all this data. I'm not saying that obviously I don't agree with it 100% of the time, but sometimes you got to be careful about what you're listening to and who you're listening to and what you're reading and what their motives are and how they gather the data and what they're doing with the data and all that type of stuff here. So yeah. So is it more likely? Yeah, it's probably more likely. I closed out Instagram. Why did I do that? I think I might have 1 or 2 more. And we want to talk about dark-skinned women today and their ability in the dating market. And it may spill over into talking about, job, which goes on in a job or just everyday life. But we want to try to stick to that. But we'll see how the conversation goes. If you watched the show last night with myself and going over the information about George Frazier and his data and statistics about the projections about the future and our mating strategies and our mating habits and what we're doing and how we're getting along, then you understand that, at the end of that, that Dr. Thunder joined me for a little bit, and we had a little bit of a discussion. I ended up getting sleepy, and so I had to call it for the night. I don't know how these brothers, some of these guys do 3, 4, 5 hour streams and all that kind of stuff. I can't do that. So at 2 hour mark, I'm like, all right, I gotta go. My legs were tired. I'm sitting at this thing here. I gotta go to the bathroom, all this kind of stuff. So I don't know if these people wear diapers or what. I'm joking about that. I don't know. Anyway, so let's see. Who else is here? Yoli is here. Good evening to you, Yoli. And for her to nitpick on a 9 out of 10, that's everyday talk. I think that was a bit extreme. Well, I think that was his point, that he was using a figure of speech and she just wanted to be difficult and say, she just wanted to be difficult. So, I don't know. Just absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. All right, let's see what other videos that I have in here that I've been meaning to look at and go over with you. You good people, you good folks. Make sure you hit the like button, get some people up in here. Here's one. This is having a boyfriend embarrassing now? Having a boyfriend embarrassing now? And I did this one before, so we'll do. But I talked about this subject on a previous video, but here we'll talk about it here.
War between the singles and the takens. For decades now, the singles have had to bear witness to the downright foolish behavior of takens. The singles have had to endure the takens viewing us as their emotional support system for their relationships, or as their mean time between time until they get their male partner, and calling it a friendship. The singles have also had to endure the pompous superiority complex that so many takens exhibit when it comes to their proximity to a man. For example, where's your man being a clapback? I have always cringed at that quote unquote clapback, because what I hear is, where is your proximity to what validates me as a person? And for decades now, the takens have big upped their male partners to the point of positioning their male partners as these mythical creatures, as if they're the Wizard of Oz. Hell, even the way the takens big up their male partners result in single women staying in the dating pool way longer than they should and putting up with more than they should too. Because the singles are trying so hard to find the mythical creature Wizard of Oz of a man that their girlfriends seem to have found when they weren't looking for him. So for decades, this has been the dynamic. The takens are superior and the singles are inferior. And then TikTok became a thing, and the takens decided to take to social media to air out their grievances. And it is through the airing out of these grievances that the singles begin to learn from the takens' mouths themselves that all that glitters is not gold, and that the Wizard of Oz is just a man with a beer gut behind the curtain. Suddenly, we are hearing video upon video upon video of these amazing taken men barely providing anything outside of a fart in the household. And so now that the singles are aware that the jig is up and that all that glitters is not gold, you are now seeing singles look at the takens and go, girl, you doing all that to have a man? It is not that serious. In fact, that's a little embarrassing. The takens airing out the truth about having their male partners has birthed a renaissance for single women. And now being single as a woman is in, and having and being with a man is old. It's archaic. Another way to look at this is, for the longest time, the cool kids table of women's interaction has been reserved strictly for the takens and the takens only, whereas the singles were the nerdy kids' lunch table in the corner of the lunchroom. And with this renaissance of single women being what is in, what is cool, and what is hip, that is the equivalent of one of the nerds from that lunch table getting up, marching over to the cool kids table, and pulling the tissue out of the most popular girl's bra to reveal that everything we thought we knew was a lie. The war between the
Woo! That was a lot. That was a lot of cope right there. Trying to justify not having a man and trying to make it seem as if it was out of style. Men are out of style. Who knew? Men are out of style. It's now unpopular, but this is what's going on right now. Having a boyfriend is embarrassing. I read through a little bit of that article there and talking about why these ladies are developing this frame of thinking because they're developing this frame of thinking, because in particular, a lot of YouTubers have relationships, and therefore, because they have relationships, they feel as if they are causing this angst amongst those who do not have relationships, and it just sounds like a bunch of jibber jabber. A lot of jibber jabber, a lot of cope for not having a man. I do give her some props for crocheting. It's been a minute since I saw a woman who her age crocheting. It's been a minute. So I certainly appreciate that. Let's get to some of your comments here. Make sure you hit the like button and all that. Miss Plum is saying I gotta dip out shortly. I can stay as long as you can. Listen, I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit the poll and the like buttons so we can know where you stand. It doesn't tell me who's voting what. If anybody's ever worried about that, it doesn't tell me or I would assume any other YouTubers, if you're answering a poll or whatever. So you can answer the poll. It's 100% anonymous to my knowledge. I'm certainly not getting any information. Who is this woman? I don't know. The Cindy Noir show. I don't know who she is. Let's see. Is she taking a breath? I'm convinced these types don't even like men, are being paid for their content, for this content. Well, I'm sure that she's got a show and she is being paid for it. I'm really thirsty today. That's my third show. I recorded 2 shows for my other platform. One I released today, and another I'm going to release tomorrow. Dr. L's Breakdown. If you're not following that, go over there. I did a show about voting today. So let's see. What she doesn't realize is they must consider their source. Y'all are listening to some bitter heifers. So hey, I'll be a taken all day, along with my Wizard of Oz, man, and that he is. Yeah, I mean, he's a star to you, and he should be a star to you. And this idea about not wanting to do anything, that's really starting to get under my skin. You do all that for a man, you will do all that. What is it that, again, we played that clip from last night. Don't make me play it again. Don't make me play it again, right? About what men are expected to be and how it's expected to show up. And these ladies don't want to do anything. They want to just show up and be passenger princesses and don't do anything. Don't want to provide, don't want to cook, don't want to clean, don't want to show femininity, but want to be taken care of, don't want to do anything. And just today, again, I'm running into more women. Just today, I'm running into more women who are refusing to cook, don't know how to cook, and are proud of it. Are proud of it. What man is out there talking about well, I'm sure there are some men. I'm sure there's a lot of men out there saying, listen, I ain't got to do nothing, and this woman take care of me. She comes home, she drops the drawers, I ain't got to do nothing. I'm sure that there are men out there like that. But I'm sure that the vast majority of women want to, well, I don't even know. I was going to say they want to contribute something. They just don't know what to contribute. And the things that they are offering, most men don't want. So I don't know. It's a whole different world, a whole different scheme, all that kind of good stuff. I don't know. She almost finished that sweater. Yeah, sweater or sweater. What else to make? Scarves, sweaters, scarves, blankets. Yeah. I don't know. I'm good on knitting. Give me a man. That was ridiculous. Yeah. Yes, guys, hit the thumbs up and participate in the poll. I haven't been getting notifications from your other channels, Dr. L. I just dropped the episode today, so Dr. L's Breakdown. So I dropped it a little while ago, so it should be there. It's called Being an Adult. You must take care of yourselves. Why not take care of a man? It's a whole new bag out there. Skin color doesn't carry as much weight in recent years. I don't know if I've ever been drawn to a woman because of her skin color. I mean, I don't know. Dr. Thunder was saying that last night. We just don't know dudes who think like that. I do know people who have issues with their own skin tone. My daughter is a little bit darker than myself, and so I tried to do a good job making sure that she was very secure as she grew up and didn't have any of these issues. And one day I approached her about that, and she's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Okay, I guess you don't have any issues. You don't feel bad about yourself. Okay, well, that's good. Okay, carry on." So yeah, so it's to some people it can be an issue. I do know some friends of mine who were males who grew up with those types of issues and the way that they thought, and it was all it was negative about how they thought about themselves. They were teased. So I'm not ignorant to the fact that it can be an issue for certain people. It can be an issue for certain people. So make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Let's see here. That was that post. What else do I got? Do I got any other good posts? I don't think I got anything else. I've been staying off of TikTok, so haven't seen anything. All right, that's that. Okay. All right. So what I do want to start off with a couple of more warm-up videos here is I wanted to stop screen share. I wanted to talk a little bit about light skin. Before we get to the dark skin, sisters, let's talk about some of the issues that people have being light skin, right? Let's talk about that. Let's see here. Personally, I prefer darker than a brown paper bag. Yeah. I can understand. Yeah, I can understand. I've heard chicks have issues with dude skin color. It never mattered to me. Yeah. It's a thing, and it's something we got to conquer in our relationships, the way we look at each other as Black folks. This whole brown paper bag test, the fact that this exists, and some people even with the manila envelope, I used to hear like, oh, you gotta be lighter than this envelope, the little folder there, I should say. I don't know. It's crazy. Eric Devin, what's up? Dr. It's becoming more apparent that so many of these women today are absolutely repulsed by the idea of reciprocity in a relationship. I could not agree with you more. They are absolutely repulsed. I got to do this. I got to put out. I gotta be nurturing. I got to be respectful. I got to treat you as a human being. I got to offer something rather than just my divine feminine essence. That's crazy. It's crazy. And they're proud of it, bragging about it. That's what's bizarre. Proud of it, bragging about it. Hair skin color gives you a little more privileges than darker skin folks. Well, I'm sure that they would say that here as well. Where are you at? I know you're somewhere in the Caribbean, Bahamas or Jamaica. Where are you at? But yeah, it's the same here. It's the same thing here. I mean, for some people, again, I tend to be in the middle here. So I don't have that light skin privilege, but it's yeah, Guyana. Yeah. I listen, and this conversation that we are going to have tonight is had amongst all persons of color. Asians have the same thing, right? If you're a dark-skinned Asian, those Southeastern Asians, Indians, Southeast Indians have the same thing, have the same thought process. And so those, in particular, those who have been colonized in some way. So this is what we're discussing tonight is all remnants of colonization. And so we got to cast it off and recognize that we're all equally valuable. And, this beauty myth that we got going on here has to be defeated. So I will date a Black man of any skin color. My preference is dark skin. Yeah. And also there was a lot of ladies back in the days, right? Back in the 1910s, 20s, 30s, right? Were preferring Black men because they were so light skinned because of the, their parents were taking advantage of that. They wanted to intentionally darken up the race. So much respect to them. Much respect to them. All right. So let's first we're going to play a clip from Angela Yee. So hopefully this doesn't get me demonetized or anything like that. I got off of Facebook. So yeah, I hope I don't have to clip this out. So here we go.
But they call you white girl anyway.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah. When you light skin and you Black, that's just automatically white girl.
Does it really bother you?
It's annoying. Like, I like being a Black woman, you know what I mean? So it's like, no. And then some people like pressed to be mixed. Like, I don't ever want to fall into that because I'm not mixed. Like, I'm Black. So.
Yeah, people think because you light skin, you mix with something.
Yeah, for sure.
People tell me because I'm half Black and half Asian, they be telling me I'm not Black.
No.
What? Yeah.
It's the one drop rule. It's the one drop rule.
But I'm like 50%. Right.
If you have Black in you, you're Black. That's just how it is here in America. And the Black overweighs everything else. That's how I think.
Was it like that for you growing up too?
Yeah, for sure. Like, people pick on you. I feel like, because I always talk about this, people talk about colorism, like on the brown skin chick side, like, but when light skinned girls, like the girl, they had the baby, she had a song called Yellowbone, they dragged her.
Right.
Because saying, any of you got brown skin, they don't talk about that. You know what I mean? It's like when you light skin, it's almost like you're separate from that.
I think it's because she's Latina too, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dominican.
regardless of her being Dominican, I just feel like as a light-skinned black woman, we just not allowed to complain about shit like that. We can't have our own complaints. It's like automatically if you're brown, if you're darker, that comes over top. Like I can't make a song about me being light-skinned. They will drag me for that.
You can't be proud of yourself.
No, you can't. You
But I
just
think you know
can't.
what it is because guys have always glorified light skinned women, and society has. So it definitely has been a situation where like dark skinned women will.
But that's the part I really want to kind of emphasize here, that they think that black men have always glorified light-skinned women. And so I apologize about the recording here. I said it to just record from the computer, but it's obviously picking up my microphone too. So I apologize about that. But I want to play that part a little bit again there, because this is the part that was important, because they're saying that men have always glorified light-skinned women. So
Has been a situation where like dark skinned women will always tell you how much harder it's been for them to get opportunities, even like representation on television, what's considered beautiful, exotic women.
It's a fact the darker you are in this country, the harder you have it. But it don't take away from what I go through.
Yeah, no, and
Like, bitches wanted to fight me. People thought that I was soft. I had to fight a lot because I'm light skinned, flat out. I had to beat people up because they think you can't fight. You know what I mean?
yeah, everybody has their own experiences.
Yeah, I mean that's my experience. I feel like people think you stuck up. When you cool, they're like, "Oh, I can't believe you cool." You automatically supposed to be bougie. You supposed to be like, "We don't text back." It's just, you know.
And people be thinking,
I don't
oh,
text
you only
back.
think she's cute because she's light skinned.
because you're light-skinned, you don't text back. I see your comment, Yoli. Yeah, I hope I explained that here. I recorded this. I set it to just record from the computer, but then it must have picked up my microphone as well. So I don't know. That's my mistake. So I apologize about that.
Only think she's cute because she's light skinned. If she wasn't light skinned, she wouldn't be cute. They've said that,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, I mean, like, I get it. Like, everybody has their own things, but I will say, in general, in society, they've always made it seem like, you know, light skin
For
is,
sure.
yeah. So I understand what that is. Like, there is some type of privilege.
Light skinned guys too. Like they supposed to be soft, corny. Like they'll say light skinned guy got dark skinned guy energy. So you automatically corny because you light skinned.
I think light skinned guys used to be in, and then.
They got
They have
corny.
their moments, they be in and out.
But I do just like this whole like pitting people against each other. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's
Like,
corny for sure. Yeah. And we all fucked. So
Yeah, we all-
there's no difference than shooters off. Like, what the fuck is the point?
Yeah, so that's that. I do apologize about that. Echo there. Let's see. I'm a light bright and I'm mixed. But that other girl was saying she's 100% black. I'm like, I don't know about that. I grew up with a girl. We went to high school together. She was just as light as her. If she was maybe a tad bit darker than her, but she was light bright. And then she would show pictures of her family and stuff. And I'm like, and they're all like dark, my skin tone or darker. And I'd be looking around like, okay, something happened here, but okay, all right. The conversation is different with fairer skinned women, which is why I have a darker preference. Yeah, white men love dark skinned women. Well, they love them for something. Yeah. I've only had two men want to date me because of my color. I don't buy into that mess. And did you say, are you dark? Did you say I will date my man? Did you say my preference is dark skin? Did you say if you're dark or lighter, Minister Misty? I may have missed it. I'm dark black. You ain't that dark. You ain't that dark. Come on now. Y'all make sure you hit the votes there. So far we got a few votes in here. So do dark skinned women have it more difficult in dating? Make sure you go over to the poll and chime in on that. Also, make sure you hit the like button. So again, with the preference, again, I played that particular video because there seems to be this idea that some men do have a preference for for light-skinned women. Some dark-skinned men, or even black men in particular, have a preference for light-skinned women. And a couple of years ago, I think Kevin Hart had said something crazy like that, and a couple other people said that as well. Okay. I think, okay, I do remember that. I've only had two men want to date me because of my color. I don't buy into that mess. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. I've never I've never heard a guy, of all my friends and all my time, I've never heard a guy say, I'm not going to date her or I want her because she's light. They would say, oh, she's light skinned, she got green eyes, whatever. But it wasn't like they wouldn't date the dark skin or darker skinned girl or my complexion girl or darker skin girl. They would just like this, she's beautiful, she's got great skin or something like that. That was always how the conversation went. So I never had a friend that I can ever remember saying, I don't date that. I wouldn't date a woman because of that. I will tell you a story about my grandmother, who I loved, and I often talk very highly of her. But she often told me my grandmother was a light bright when she had red hair. She was like a Malcolm X kind of my maternal grandmother, and she would tell me, you don't want to bring anybody home who's dark, because of course she grew up in the 1910s, 20s, and all that, when color was a huge deal, and they wanted to get as far away from it as possible. So these people who are talking about brightening up the race and all that kind of stuff, when you talk to particularly Hispanic people from Puerto Rico or from what's the other place, Dominican Republic, when they talk about that kind of stuff, my grandmother was of the same frame of thinking. So, but yeah, you have red hair too. Okay, yeah. My grandmother was like that. So, but that was her frame of thinking, So, and I remember I was like 15 or 16 or so. I'm like, Grandma, come on, Grandma. She's like, oh, all right. She backed off of it, but she recognized that, and her husband was dark skinned. My grandfather was a dark skinned dude. So I don't know if they looked at women differently. Do women look at dark skinned women differently? Do light skinned women look at dark skinned women differently? All that kind of stuff. So I don't know. So it's an interesting phenomenon. I didn't do any research into any papers before I came on here. Good evening to you, Rhonda. Black young mixed girls are discriminated against by other young Black women more than Black boys. Black young mixed girls are discriminated against by other young Black women more than Black boys. Okay. I don't know that to be true, but okay. Some say you think you're better because you have good hair. Well, that is true. That whole good hair thing, and probably that goes to being you think you're better than yourself because of this light skin thing. That thing that she was saying, that whoever, I don't even know who that was, Angela Yee's guest was saying, was that was true. I know I have friends who were challenged. I had my friend Tony. People used to think he was soft. If you go back and watch the interview I did with him, people used to think he was soft because he was extremely light skinned. I had a couple other friends, all had to fight a little bit more because they were light skinned as dudes. So it is a thing. It is a thing. My daughter's father is very dark skinned. Okay. Hey, what's up? The D548, Dr. Ellen chat. Okay. I know that. You changed your name there. But thanks for coming on to the show. Appreciate it. All right. Make sure you guys go over to hit the polls, vote, and all that kind of stuff. So I started talking about how some men, particularly those of more famous individuals, were seeking out for light-skinned women and or white women. And I want to play this a little bit because this is something that was going viral before about these. I think they were professional athletes talking about they were aiming for light-skinned children. So let me put this on the stage here.
Cheers to more light-skinned kids. Cheers to more light-skinned kids. Really, cheers to more light-skinned kids. Really Cheers to our Cheers to more light-skinned kids. Cheers to more light-skinned kids. Really, cheers to more light-skinned kids. Really Cheers to our
So as you can hear that there, they were saying cheers to more light-skinned kids. So, which is wild, but so, and that was a couple of years ago. They were going viral for that. I think Kevin Hart said something crazy one time, which I didn't appreciate. So yeah. All right, so that's that. And so we played a little bit of this video last night, but I got sleepy, as I said. So we're gonna start off this again here. We're gonna go back to this video here, And this is the former. Now, if there is an issue, if there is an issue, this is probably the wrong person to be talking about it, in all honesty, because she is the former Miss USA. But I don't know what's up with her husband there. I mean, this dude has a blank stare, like I don't want to be here. Like blink twice if we need to come rescue you, man, because this brother is not looking well. But this is from Knotted. I guess it's a pretty new podcast. Dark skin and dating desirability. And so again, I don't think she's the right person to talk about this. But I do. Let me put this up on the screen here. And so just from the notes here, or from the comment section, this says this woman's face is literally perfect. People are such colorist haters. Well, you got to recognize that this woman is caked up in makeup. I mean, I'm not always the best at telling this, but it's fairly obvious. The heck was that? Something outside my window. But it's fairly obvious that this woman is loaded down with makeup here. So anyway, this is the Knotted podcast. It's obviously growing. Yesterday it had like, I want to say like 6,000 subs. So they got like 12,000 subs in a day. So I don't know how people are doing that, but whatever. Anyway, so if I remember correctly, anyway. All right, so we're gonna play this video here, and we're gonna start off at the beginning, and make sure you hit the like button. So here we go.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Knotted.
Tying vibes to values.
This is going to be one heck of a conversation. Today's episode is called Colorism in Love.
Yeah.
All right, we got to speed this.
I am very uncomfortable talking about this topic. Yay. But I think that it is
a necessary conversation.
I think it's a necessary conversation as to.
I'm just going to go ahead and, like Dr. Thunder said last night, I think a lot of this is just absolute cool. This is just, it just doesn't seem authentic to me. Here, this woman, that she was Miss USA. I mean, how many issues did she have growing up? I just can't imagine why she would think. I don't know what she's going to say. I haven't watched this, but it just seems incredible to me that she would have some type of complex about all this. It just seems ridiculous.
Chocolatey married individuals, but especially for myself as a dark-skinned Black woman, I have experienced colorism at massive levels, but specifically through the internet. And I can't help but feel like we need to have a conversation about what it feels like to be a dark-skinned woman in the dating space, looking for love, while also feeling very beat down by the world, constantly telling you that you're not desired.
Mm-hmm.
And how you combat that narrative and how to be able to really drive and determine your own reality.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to say something about what happened when you and I got together. You are quite an attractive man.
Oh, thank you.
You're not only attractive, you're educated,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe you would fall under the category of a high value man. I know we hate that word. I know we hate like
you said it.
I know. I just know when we think of high value man, it's just like it's such an overused concept.
Well, because people are maybe not using it the right way or using it in a very shallow way. Where it exists, but you emphasis on the values.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of a high value man, it's not just attached to his finances, it's also attached to his
character.
Does he have high moral character?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it. And you not only are a very financially stable and financially well-off person, you have a high moral character.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is what makes you high value,
Mm-hmm.
right? We had some experiences when not only when you and I got together,
Mm-hmm.
everything was fine when you and I got together
Mm-hmm.
and we were posting about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It was when you proposed.
Is he someone famous, or is he? I don't know who this dude is. I didn't even know who she was. So I just kind of Googled. Somebody sent this to me for me to review. So therefore I'm doing it. But I didn't know who she was. I obviously know who she is now. But she's obviously an attractive woman, and so I don't know if he was somebody too that's high powered or whatever. Apparently he is. He's got some kind of income. But anyway, she's going to tell us a little bit about whatever happened when they got together here. Hello to everyone who's joining up. Primiva 77579. Eric Demons, she's considered Dark skinned, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Either I said this last night, either the lights are burning bright in there, she's like 2 inches from the sun, or she's not really that dark skinned. Low key darkness, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, he's definitely something going on with his brother. He don't want to be there. He don't really, he's being held hostage or something. Something's going on with that, right? He signed up for something that is problematic. He signed up for something that is problematic. Yeah, she's, she she's smiling a lot. I mean, you got to be a go-getter to be Miss USA. You got to be, it's not just like you're a beautiful person and just happen to have this feminine mystique about you. You got to be a go-getter. You got to be driven to eat, to exercise, to do all this other stuff behind the scenes. And I worked with a girl who was trying to become Miss Connecticut, and she was a B. I mean, she had the looks, but she was smiling and this, that, and the other. But just working with her and how she treated people and this, that, and the other, I'm like, and she was only trying to become Miss Connecticut. So I'm like, if you're trying to become Miss USA, Miss America, whatever, I mean, you got to be driven, cut other people down, So yeah, make sure you answer the poll question. Foundation is crazy. Yeah, she's definitely caked up there. Yeah, something is very inauthentic about these two. Yeah, I'm catching that vibe too. I'm catching that vibe too.
That we had some experiences. And there was one specific incident that really shifted my outlook on what it would be like to not only be an engaged, dark-skinned woman to a very high-value man, but to eventually become a married dark-skinned woman.
I really don't even understand this conversation. Like, we're gonna get together. I'm Miss America. I Miss USA. Can never forget that. And now, what is it going to be like to be engaged to a high-value man as a dark-skinned woman? I mean, is that a thought? I don't know. I don't know. Is that a thought process? Is it a thought process of going there? Is it a thought process of not only going from being engaged, but then going into being married? It just seems weird to me.
To a high-value man.
Mm-hmm.
We had an incident where there was a group of women that I was acquainted with, and those women and their reaction to our engagement looked very different than the reaction to the engagement of my other acquaintance counterparts that were of lighter hue than myself. And it was not only heartbreaking, but it was a real reality for me that there is a difference sometimes in reaction when a dark-skinned woman is being loved versus when a woman of a lighter hue is being loved. It feels to me, from what I have observed, that there has to be some sort of additional reason why a chocolate woman would be loved in the way that she's being loved. I'll give you an example. Olandria. We love Olandria. I am a Olandria.
I want to hear her stories about what these people said to her. And this is probably what's going into why we're catching these inauthentic vibes. Tell us the stories about what these cohorts were saying to you or what they were doing. So hopefully she'll get there. I don't know. I haven't watched this video. So hopefully she gets there. I don't want to hear about Olandria. I want to know what they said to you, how they made you feel as a dark-skinned chocolate woman. These are her words, to make you feel as if you didn't deserve to be loved by a high-value man. That's what I want to hear.
Stan. I'm a Nick Olandria fan. I have always been obsessed with her. And when Nick shows her love, everyone's just like, I don't think he really likes her. I don't think, well, maybe. Well, is it because it can't just be that he simply loves her. Is attracted to her. There has to be some other reason as to why she's being loved the way that she's being loved.
Mm-hmm.
And it opened up a conversation on Threads, on the internet, about what Black women, but specifically dark-skinned Black women, feel and experience when they receive healthy love. It seems to me like there has to be a but attached to it. And that is what I experienced when we got engaged. There's always but maybe she's, but maybe he's. And even from people that I thought were a part of a circle of individuals that loved and cared for one another. And I believe that there's a massive difference in the way in which the preference is expected to be loved, is expected to be poured into, is expected to be celebrated. And unfortunately, from my experience and what I've seen, when a dark-skinned woman is loved, there is just some sort of discourse in conversation attached to her experience.
We got to get to these experiences, because as somebody has put it in the chat already, this is all in her head. She notices what she's searching for. I agree with that. I mean, you got to tell us these stories. And again, I'm not a dark-skinned woman, so I don't know. So you got to make this plain for us, plain for me. You know, beating around the bush is not going to cut it for me.
Oh my gosh, hit me. Her name is Tanika B. I've been a fan of hers for a very long time. And she said the internet loves Black couples until the wife is dark-skinned. She posted that a year ago. And when I tell you,
all right, you guys got to tell me, is this true? Is this true? I mean, nobody in this chat is saying it, but if you're watching this in the future, be sure to comment in the comment section about if you can identify or you think what this particular lady, Deshawn, is saying. Is any of this true? Because I just can't see it as being true. And I don't know people who think like this. I don't know people who think like this. I'm not saying that, you know, that there isn't something to, I played this already about something to overall capabilities, intelligence, ability to fight, masculinity. I definitely think that's the thing. But as a Black woman, dark-skinned woman, people are hating on you because you're with a dude.
I felt that in my chest, that I have just seen people, a part of my circle, that have gotten engaged, gotten married, everybody's celebrating. The conversations are not negative. And the moment that I got engaged, the conversations around me and us became so deeply negative. And the only difference between me and the other individuals in the conversation were that they were of lighter hue. And it felt to me,
is she gonna tell us what they were saying? These are people in her circle. These are her words. These are people in your circle who are saying negative things about you. Obviously, they said it to her or around her. They got back to her ears. What were those things? Am I wrong about this, or am I just missing here?
On that conversation, that they could not understand why I was being loved the way that I was being loved by you. Not only just because of how handsome you are, but also, child, the level at which you went for our proposal. You went crazy on the proposal, Marvin. Appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
He went crazy on the proposal. And I don't know. I don't think that helped, honestly.
Maybe not. Maybe after that, that's when you started experiencing this.
And you know what I experienced? I started experiencing loss in friendships, people spreading rumors, people being very, very, very mean to me after your proposal. Everyone was absolutely on board with the relationship, but when you proposed, it was over.
Yeah.
The amount of
I'm going to take her out of word here. I'm going to take her out of word here that something changed. She lost friends. Is it because she's dark skinned, or is it because women just hate to see other women happy? That is a thing. I'm not denying that that's not a thing. But is it which one is it? Is it because you're dark skinned? I mean, we'd have to poll her light skinned friends to figure out if that was the same thing. And she's not. And as we've already mentioned, she's not even that dark.
Frustration, discourse, and disgusting narratives. Once you proposed, it became, the proposal was great. My engagement experience was great, but I also lost a lot of friendships, honestly. Friendships, relationships, distant relationships, and acquaintances once you proposed. It was a very life-shifting experience for me.
Wow. Yeah, I hate that all of that happened. I can only speak as your husband, your partner. I've always valued Black women. I've always loved Black women. I think one of the things that really made me attracted and interested in you was all these great things that you do, but the fact that you were like this beautiful chocolate woman, like that was like, yeah, she one of the ones for real. So as a Black man, I take that very seriously. Being a husband to a Black woman, especially a chocolate, dark-skinned Black woman. And I feel that it is my duty to show you and give you the type of love that you deserve, which is why I go above and beyond to show that, not only because you deserve it, but because I feel like we need to see Black women being loved in the way in which they deserve. So I think
I'm not buying any of this. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not buying any of this. I'm not buying any of this.
Outside of all of that, that is, I hate that experience happened, but I can only control what I can control and only can show what I want to show for my marriage and for the world to see how my wife receives love from me. So I think it's actually very, very important, in which that gives me the drive. And it's also naturally comes to me, but it's also like, no, she deserves, let me go out. So if I'm thinking, if something's at an 8, I'm like, no, how can we make this a 10? So a little part of it was like, no, not only is she an amazing person, she more than deserves this, but because I do have a beautiful dark skin chocolate, I'm going to make sure that she feels how worthy and deserving she is of love from me.
Why, thank you, Sugar Snap.
Yeah.
And you do that. And I think it can be very rough because, and that's why I challenge, Black women, but especially I challenge dark-skinned Black women to really just turn off certain social media conversations. Don't allow the clickbaity type situations to pull outrage out of you. We are really feeding the pockets of individuals with our outrage by making it a topic of conversation. And that really does jade your outlook on love.
If this was a Tyler Perry production, it would have been a light-skinned brother to the rescue. This brother would be light, bright.
Of your ability to receive love. And there was a time probably between 2018 and like 2022-ish time frame. I don't know what was going on during that time, but it just felt like there was an active propaganda driven conversation around lack of desirability of Black women. And I could see it in real time. I could see the constant push on my algorithm to be reminded at how undesirable I am as a dark-skinned Black woman and as a Black woman, period. And I had
Colin Cap. Nobody believes this. Nobody believes you were Miss USA. She is not the person to push this narrative. Sorry. She felt bad about herself. And again, if the one person I've ever met, actually I met 2 people in my own life that were going for some type of USA. Actually, and a friend of mine was Miss. She was the Miss of the city that I live in. She was an incredibly driven person. Didn't suffer from these, and she was extremely dark, much darker than her. And she just didn't have these I don't want to say she didn't have this low self-esteem, woe is me, we're dark-skinned women type of attitudes. She was driven, she was a go-getter. I believe in myself. And a woman who was going for Miss Connecticut, same thing, right? So obviously if you're part of if you have to win your city to win Miss Connecticut. So the 2 people that I knew that won their cities were incredibly driven people. One was white and one was a dark-skinned Black woman, both married, or at least later on got married, and never talked like this. The dark-skinned woman in particular. So I'm just calling cap on this whole thing. I just don't believe any of this. Y'all make sure you hit the like button. Shamar Moore rates.
To start blocking keywords. I had to start blocking a lot of social media pages, blocking certain YouTube channels from popping up on my algorithm. I had to really curate my social media because I started feeling, just based on the internet, wow, like it just feels like the world and society is constantly telling me that I'm ugly, I'm undesirable, I'm angry. And that constant conversation started to dwindle my spirit at moments. And I could feel it happening. And mind you, 2018 is coming off the back of me being Miss USA. And during my Miss USA year, dealing with the constant conversation around, is Deshauna Barber an attractive Miss USA? And I'm coming off the back of that 2016 to
I would
2017.
get that. I would get that perspective from the dominant culture. I would get that, but not from us. I would get that from, from the hills of West Virginia, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Idaho. You read what they're saying. Yeah, I can get that. I don't think we were, again, as Minister Missy saying, where are the receipts for all this? I got to see that too.
Reign. And now I'm moving into the social media era of bashing Black women and dark-skinned women. And I had to actively curate my social media so that I did not overexpose myself to those conversations. And I started following one of my favorite Instagram pages called Afro Caribbean Wedding. And I love all these Black love pages. There's a bunch of Black love pages that are out there. But some of these Black love pages do not show women that look like me being loved. They show Black women being loved, but they're not the same hue as me. And I don't know if
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Afro Caribbean love. Let me go over and look at that. I don't believe that.
do a really good job at balancing, showcasing all shades. Sometimes it feels like they're showcasing one shade. And that's what I loved about Afro Caribbean Wedding and Black Couple Revolution.
Yeah, they do a good job.
They do a good job. They show so many chocolatey women getting loved, because this is Black women in general. We are just incredible creatures. And I don't want to make this a dark skin versus light skin conversation. I just can't stress enough that when society tells you that we love Black women, but we have a preference for the type of Black women that we love, that when you're outside of that preference, that if you constantly feel beat down, and if you don't curate your social media to not drive in that narrative on you constantly, you might lose sight of the reality of the love that's waiting for you in the dating world and in society in general. And I think that one of the reasons why I was able to manifest our love is because I made sure to not allow the narrative to beat me down, to make me believe that there's not a man out there that's going to love me wholeheartedly. And I think,
all right, I got to pause this for a second here. Let me take this off the screen here, because she is I don't know what this lady's talking about. All right, so let me take this off here. Here I typed in Afro Caribbean Wedding. I couldn't find that page, but it says ideas. So let me put this on the screen here. Share screen, Instagram. There we go. All right. So if you go over to this page, right, and this is just Afro Caribbean Wedding Ideas, right? Look at all these dark skinned women up here. I mean, these are just this one's light right here. This one, but all these other women up here are dark skinned, fully melanated. What is she talking? I don't know what she's talking about. Married to chocolate men? What are you talking? I don't know what she's talking about. This sister right here got a she with the pink or whatever color that is, got this light skinned dude, right? I mean, I just don't know what she's talking about. Here's a woman with a looks like her own natural 4C hair. She's got it all nice. This sister got her a Scottish dude in his Scottish attire. I don't know what she's talking about. So I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about. All right, we'll continue on with her with this nonsense here that she's spewing here, just making stuff for. Let me see here. Let's see. Let me get you your. Let's see. Definitely don't believe that at all. Yeah, don't women like her start out as debutantes? Yeah, I mean that's all. It's all cap. I've seen several of those pages that show dark skinned women being loved. Yeah, I've seen them too. Yeah, there's the receipts. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what this lady's talking about.
that this is applicable to anyone that feels beat down and feels like they exist outside of the beauty standards that are pushed onto us. If you believe whatever you look like, wherever you come from, whatever your religion is, whatever your hair type, whatever your skin tone, whatever it is, whatever your shape, whatever your height, if you believe that you exist on the outside of the beauty standard, it is incredibly important that you curate what you read, what you listen to, and what you see, so that it does not indirectly manifest the way in which you experience life. I believe
that I will agree with. You got to be positive and make sure you are, surrounding yourself and consuming positive information all the time. That I will agree with. And I'm not saying that there aren't dark-skinned women who don't feel loved and don't feel appreciated and et cetera. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it's not her. I don't think it was ever her. And I don't think she's the right representative to try to push a narrative and try to get people to appreciate themselves because of her accomplishments in life. And as has been mentioned, you start off young with this type of stuff. And there's no way you could get up and walk across stage and put on a bikini or a bathing suit and walk across stage and walk in heels and this, that, and the other, and have to answer these questions and shake hands with all these different people. I don't know. I just don't. I'm just not buying it. I need a chocolate girl in my Keith Sweat voice. Haha, showing support, Doc. I appreciate that, Mr. Stu. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, I agree. There are women, just not her. Yeah, it's just not her. She's trying to push the narrative, and this to me is making her whole channel, I guess it's fairly new, seem inauthentic, right? You just can't trust what you're saying.
I manifested this. I prayed for this. And if I had let society win, I would have never believed that this was possible. And I believe in my spirit that success, manifestation, and achievement starts with belief. There's no way that I can achieve healthy love if I don't believe that it exists.
That's true.
And I can't believe that it exists if I'm constantly exposing myself to the negative conversations that I'll never get this, and I'll never attract this, and I'll never manifest this. I'll never be able to find a man to love me for who I am. If that's what I'm listening to and what I'm seeing and what I'm constantly absorbing into.
That I will agree with. That I will agree with. I'm not saying that it's, you have to surround yourself and think positively. And I've mentioned that a number of times, right? So you definitely have to do a deep dive into what you're listening to, consuming, people who are around you in your circle. You definitely have to do that constantly.
My feed and into my experience. So that is my challenge to women that believe that they're outside of that beauty standard.
Yeah, I think
and the beauty standard, as she's got the wig on with the or the the extensions, and talking about the beauty standard. But okay, whatever.
Me, and it just boils down to not succumbing to the propaganda. Like if you pay attention to social media or whatever these negative, talking points about Black women are, you'll subconsciously start to digest those things, and it will affect your self-esteem. And more so for anybody, once your self-esteem and your confidence goes away, your light starts to dwindle down some.
So true.
So, and for me, I'm just surrounded by Black men who love Black women in all shades. I have friends who are married to beautiful dark-skinned women. And a lot of the success in who I am is attributed to Black women. So I feel like it's also my duty to love on Black women as much as I can, from my mom to my sister to my aunts to my friends to my wife. That is my duty as a Black man, to make sure I showcase that love and support for them, while also letting them know, like, hey, Black men love Black women, no matter the shade. Do not succumb to the propaganda. I know that we'll look at statistics about certain things online, and do not let that jade you. And like you said, you really got to tailor.
So we shouldn't listen to the stats. It's just kind of just talking out here, right?
Your algorithms to kind of show the love and what you want, because it's possible.
I agree.
Yeah.
And right after this break, we're going to tell you all a little bit more. See you in a second.
All right, we're kind of good with that. I don't want to. I do appreciate somebody sending me this. I do appreciate that. But I'm going to call it for tonight. I can't take any more of that. So unless you guys get anything else you want to talk about, I don't want to talk about it, because I think they're completely inauthentic. They're cutting for commercials and all this kind of stuff, and they've only got like 5 videos out. How many videos they have out here? Let's see. Let's go back here. History. They only started their podcast, Knotted Podcast. I just wish that they would have come with more They got 36 videos, so they're starting off, and that just seems so inauthentic to me. So that just seems so inauthentic. So I don't know. Her brain is knotted. Yeah, that was really unfortunate. That was really unfortunate. So come on, y'all, give us 3 more likes. Where we're at with the likes? Y'all hit the like button. Y'all hit the like button. Let's see where we at with this. And again, I'm not saying that this isn't an issue with some people. That's not my point. But I just don't think she was the right one to give it. Do dark-skinned women have it more difficult in dating? 25% said yes, 38% have said no, and 38% said sometimes. And I should have yeah, they're trying to get views. Yeah, trying to build up some platform of. And again, if you're not authentic, it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue because people are going to see your nonsense, and eventually, you know, what you've built is going to come tumbling down. Take a look at some of these other gurus out here. You know, these fake doctors and all these fake gurus going on out here. Somebody told me something crazy about Cheyenne Bryant the other day. I haven't seen it, but but I haven't seen that about Cheyenne Bryant. But if you guys know, you know. But I don't know. My answer was sometimes survey. Okay, well, tell us why it's sometimes, because I think it's more about attitude. I think that's what we're coming up with. It's more about attitude. I don't think that men are looking at dark-skinned women and saying that they are, you know, problematic because of whatever or their skin tone. It's attitude, right? If you, again, whatever aura that you're giving off, positive vibes, negative vibes, you know, woe is me type of mentality, type of thinking, that stuff. If you walk through a store, a park, amusement park, you whatever, and you just got this I got it going on type of thing, that can be sexy to a man. It can be sexy to me. Right now, it's a pursuit. I'm not talking about arrogance where you feel as if you're untouchable and ooh, don't talk to me. I'm not talking about that, but just a certain level of confidence. Yeah, I don't. And these ladies who are in these environments, and these debutante environments, these trying to become Miss whatever, have that. I just don't. Yeah, I just don't buy that. It's about attractiveness and features, not shade. Absolutely, and that attractiveness is also attitude as well. I would add. I've known that for months via Corey Holcomb. Okay, about the so-called doctor. Oh yeah. Yeah. But I guess somebody just texted me this yesterday and said that did I ask about that or did I hear about it? I didn't hear about it. But yeah, Corey Holcomb's been said that, right? And I would just come out and just say, if I was if I was Cheyenne Bryant, just say, listen, I like boys. I mean, I don't think it's taboo to say I like boys and girls. I don't understand that. I don't understand why she's allegedly. I don't want to get sued by a doctor. Alleged doctor Cheyenne Bryant. I don't know, but yeah, my point is about all these internet gurus and stuff, right? All these different people. You watch the interview or the debate between Coach Greg Adams and Andrew Wilson. They've been going on him, Andrew Wilson, because he's not being what everybody said he was. So it's all crazy. So attractive is attractive, period, point blank. Yeah, it's all about attraction. So listen, I thank y'all for joining me. I didn't watch this video before, and I am not inclined to watch the rest of it now. Somebody sent me a couple of videos today, so we may do another show tomorrow night. We shall see. Let me say thank you again to Mr. Stu for his donation there. I do appreciate that. I can't say that so we'll see what we're going to do. I do have a driving video that is dropping tomorrow morning, and then I may do another show tomorrow. So if not, you guys definitely have a great weekend. So thank you guys so much for stopping in. And yes, to her point, we'll just leave it off with this. To her point about believing in yourself, going forward, changing your environment, changing what you're consuming, whether it's what you're reading, listening to, etc., who you're around. You know, Thanksgiving is coming up. If you're family is really a drain on you, and here's the thing about the holidays as we enter this holiday season between Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, if your family is a drain on you, I would say don't go. I may take slack for that, but why are you going to go and stress yourself out? Why are you going to go and you don't get along with this sister, you don't get along with that cousin? To me, your peace of mind means more. But that you do, I know family is a big thing, and they want to see us. It's only once a year or whatever. However, your family gets down, but that's part of knowing who you are and standing on your square, and that's part of being a solid person. It's part of mental health, watching your own mental health, your stress levels, your anxiety levels, right? Don't get all stressed out and all anxious and have to up your prescriptions and have to go talk to a therapist so you can make it through the holidays and all this kind of stuff. I think all that is bizarre. Go around. I would rather spend time with my friends who I actually get along with, who I choose to be around, than go to a family's house and be stressed out the whole time and can't wait to leave. But I'm just there because of my grandmother, or there because of my family ties, or there because these people raised me, or there because they changed my diapers and all this type of stuff. But that's me. That's me, because my peace and my mental stability is more than anything else. It means more to me than anything else. So yeah, so as we enter in this holiday season and for next week, just think about it. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You guys are all grown adults and stuff, but this idea that I got to be burdened down, I got to spend money I don't have for Christmas gifts and running up my credit card to do this, that, and the other, and some of us are going to be doing, I guess there's a Black Friday boycott to show them how much the economy, we as Black people put into the economy. Whether you're doing any of that, that's all up to you. But yeah, I wouldn't be stressing myself. I certainly would not be spending money I don't have, running up my credit card to impress people. Those days should be long gone. We got to have more financial literacy than that. So yeah, we got to do that. I don't like all the drama either. Yeah, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do it. I don't do drama. I do not do. If you know one thing about Dr. L, I don't do drama. I don't do drama. I remember when my kids were small, we went to a family's house. I was married at the time. My first wife. I went to a family's house. I'm like, listen, never again. Never again. Never again. So I was uncomfortable. They was uncomfortable with me because I was a cop. I'm like, why am I? We're never going here again. Never going there again. Agree. Some folks literally being abused and stressed, praying for them. Yeah, absolutely. Americans spend money to cook foods that nobody eats. Yeah, well, that's true. We do a lot of stuff here in America. Call 988 for suffering during the holidays. Yeah. You definitely should. We took a lot of calls in the PD, people being depressed and all that type of stuff. A lot of mental illness goes around these times. So definitely. Listen, that's all we do in here in America is waste money. Do not fool yourself. We waste money. We find a reason to celebrate, to buy things, to celebrate things, to just get out there and kill some animal and just eat it, spend money we don't have, impress people who don't care about us, that we see once a year, our birthdays and anniversaries and all this type of stuff, right? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So this is always a sad time for me. Well, make sure that you are taking care of yourself, Rhonda, whatever that means, make sure you are doing. And to anyone else listening, if it's a sad time because people have lost friends, lost parents, a lot of us are older in our 40s, our parents are gone or whatever. And I can understand that it's tough. I understand that it's tough. But your mental health and your stability, your ability to get through this time and every other time after that is essential. As they tell us when we get on airplanes, make sure we put the mask on ourselves first before we start helping other people. And you are no good if you're stressed out. You are no good if you're anxious. You are no good if you feel down in the dumps, if you feel as if you are unloved, etc. Right? You're no good. So you got to do what it takes for you to get the mental health that for you. And if that means staying home, then stay home. If that means not buying anyone a Christmas gift, then don't buy anyone that. And don't let them shame you. Don't let them guilt you into doing things that you don't want to do, that you don't have the money to do, or you just don't want to do. Maybe sometimes, listen, these people in my life don't deserve a Christmas gift. You've been mean to me all year. You haven't talked to me all year. You've thrown shade at me all year. You disinvited me from things all year. And I'm going to buy you a Christmas gift or show up at your house and eat your food. I'm not going to do that, right? Get on an airplane to go here, go there. I'm not going to do all that. So do what it takes to get the mental health that you need. And sometimes that's just rest. Take a week off. I know people who, take the whole month of December off from just for vacation, just to rest, recoup, relax. Just to rest, recoup, and relax. So make sure you do whatever it takes. You are the most important person in your life. You are the most important person before your kids, before your parents, before your job. You are the most important person because you can't show up for anyone else if you're messed up. I can't show up for my kids if I'm messed up. I can't show up for my parents and help them in their elderly age if I'm messed up, right? Again, a police department philosophy was, if we heard our partner screaming on the radio for help or assistance because they're in a dangerous situation, the first thing that we had to do was calm down, get in our cruiser, and drive to there. You got to get there fast, but you can't help them if you get into an accident, because now somebody has to come to you and to the accident, and we had to come and help the other person, right? So you had to take care of yourself. Again, from the airplane scenario to the police department scenario, you as an individual have to show up for yourself first, and then you can help other people. And if you're in a bad place mentally, you can't help other people. So yeah. Absolutely. Hugs or prayers coming your way. Absolutely. Thank you for all that. Make sure we support one another emotionally the best that we can. Hugs, prayers, call one another, whatever it takes. Make sure that we're there for one another. That's the most important thing. We'll go through the numbers here again. Do dark-skinned women have it more difficult in dating? 24% said yes. 39% said no. 36% said sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Rhonda. Absolutely. All right, y'all. Take care of yourselves. I mean that literally. Take care of yourselves. Call someone. Call a friend. Call your parents. Call a pastor. Call someone and take care of yourself. Eat right. Exercise. Those two things are underrated when it comes to mental health. You can change your whole biology by just eating more fruits and vegetables and just getting away from different toxic people. And again, if you're watching and consuming toxic information from YouTube or for anything else, stop doing that. Take the month of December off and the rest of November and December off and really, really detox from a lot of different ideas. I tell people that all the time. When I hear ladies talking about, in particular, different things that the manosphere is saying, I'm not loved because I'm not this, or I got a baby out of wedlock and nobody's ever going to love. Whoa, first off, turn all this off. Turn all this off. Turn it all off. Look in the mirror and love yourself. Look in the mirror, love yourself. Somebody does love you. Somebody will want you. And I know that there's a lot of talk about this, but if it's really hurting your mentality, your spirituality, your mentality, your psyche, and you don't feel like getting out of bed in the morning, you have this woe is me attitude, and you'll start to dress and give off this aura about how you feel about yourself. And to that point, I would agree with Deshauna. I would agree with that. You got to change all that. So that this is the time to do that. And again, my tagline is: you change your mind, you change your life. So yeah. You take care too. Thank you guys. I try to. That negativity can really get into your head and mess you up. Absolutely, Ron. It will absolutely mess you up. It will have you believe in things that are not true. Have you believe in things that you never thought about yourself. You never looked at yourself this way, and next thing you know, you're feeling terrible. And to all who might be experiencing any adverse situation, go easy on yourself and make the necessary changes to turn things around. That is well said. Listen, we all make mistakes. I can't tell you. Listen, in my 52 years of life, I can remember, whenever I would get in trouble as a kid, like I had this pit in my stomach, and of course, as you make less mistakes as you grow up, that pit kind of goes away. And then I remember something happened in the police department. I'm not gonna tell you guys what it is, but I was like, oh man, this is crazy, right? So, it wasn't something I did, but it was something that was around. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? And I had that pit in my stomach again. But so we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes, but you got to learn from those mistakes. You got to forgive yourself. I think I did an episode about that. Go back and watch that. You got to forgive yourself. That's the most important thing. We make mistakes. We have boo-boos. We mess up. We forgot deadlines. We had car accidents. We probably too hard on our kids sometimes. All that type of stuff. We did it. We did all those types of things. But we're still here. The world didn't stop. Grass didn't stop growing. Birds didn't start chirping. So we're still here. We got to learn from our mistakes. And that's one thing I always thought about from a lot of politicians, right? These politicians, they don't care what they do, right? Who's that dude? Andrew, not Cuomo, even though he was crazy too. That dude, he was showing his pee-pee to, he was sexting pictures or something like that, right? And then this dude runs for office again after that. So they have no gumption. They'll just keep going. They just keep doing it. They just keep doing it. They just keep doing it. So, so you got to keep that mindset that says, I'm going to keep pushing. I may have I messed up. Yeah, I made mistakes. Yeah, I've done these things, but I'm going to keep going, and that's the way you got to be. I know cops who we fired, and obviously they're not cops anymore. We fired them from the PD, and then I would see them maybe a couple of years later, shake their hand, talk to them, this, that, and the other. They ask them what you're doing. Oh, I started a business. I started flipping houses, right? So they just turn tragedy into triumph. They keep going. You can't stop. You can't stop. So we mess up, we make mistakes, but you got to keep going. You got to keep trying. So yeah, absolutely. All right, Ben. I appreciate you showing up, man. We're about to call it for tonight because that episode that we were watching was that was not it. So final numbers here. Make sure you guys hit the vote here. Do dark-skinned women have it more difficult in voting? 24% said yes, 45% said no, and 32% said sometimes. So thank you guys so much for checking it out. If I don't talk to you, well, I'll definitely see you guys. Going to make another video tomorrow morning. So that's it. I'll try to do another show tomorrow. I don't know about Sunday, but I'll talk to you guys. Hit the like button. Take care, you guys. Much love and peace.